And I just wonder what maybe Jadon Sancho is thinking at the moment. Yes, he isn't involved today because of personal reasons, but against Villa, Elanga was picked ahead of him to start. When Jadon Sancho came in as a substitute, he didn't make a positive impact, let's put it that way. And then him probably sitting at home now just watching how Anthony Elanga is developing. I wonder how he might be thinking of the situation.
Well, he's coming for massive money, and he's coming into a group, a club that is just not firing on all cylinders, and it's probably a very difficult
and to have a
transition
now
to come
looking,
in there.
Yeah.
And look, he's got to take time to bed into this football club, Manchester United. It's not the easiest club to settle into, particularly with the sort of the transition that they're going through. There should be more to the top 2-3 positions. They're outside of that, but that's what they're working towards. Sancho would be thinking, look, he knows he's a great player, but he also knows there's youngsters at the club that are great players, and they're going to be great players in the future.
And might overtake him on the pecking order as well, Martin.
Yeah. Sancho made a big splash in Dortmund for a while. I actually thought his form really dipped last year in Dortmund. I watched a lot of the Bundesliga, and I thought it really dipped. And Manchester United, they had the players. They had Greenwood there, they had Rashford. If you're going to continue during the course of a season, I know that you're going to need some players, but I didn't think it was the most necessary player that Manchester United needed at that time for a lot of money. For a lot of money, I think it's about it was about £80 million or something like this here, maybe half that fee. Listen, he's got lots of work to do, and tonight now he might, as Marcus absolutely thinks, he's sitting, perhaps thinking, would it be a minute? When will I get a chance again? I'm sure he will. I'm sure it'll happen. Again, it's getting back to it. He has to go. He has to go and show the ability that he's shown at Dortmund 18 months ago. What I noticed about his game is that he picks the ball up now. He is not really confident by going past players, and he wants to lay little balls in field all the time. His job is to take players on in and around that penalty area, either side, go past players. When he starts to do that again, get encouragement from the coach, get encouragement from the backroom staff to do that, then he becomes a player again.
Don't forget, this is still a player that backs his own ability. He done that by leaving the blue half of Manchester all those years ago to take the leap and go abroad to prove himself. So this is a kid that he will definitely prove his worth. That price tag will be nothing in a year or two's time. He will go on to show how good a player he is, because Manchester, they're not going to just throw that sort of money out on just mediocre players. They only throw that money out at top players.
But Ralph did admit, I think, in the press conference that he said, what's going to matter, what's the issue with Jadon Sancho is, first of all, obviously trying to adapt to a new league that is on a different level compared to the Bundesliga, but also what is going on in his head.
Yeah, what? Okay, right. You see that? Sorry, I should have let you finish, Michelle.
No, my point was because
sorry.
Ralph pointed out to the fact that in training, he is one of the best players, but he's struggling to translate that, what he's doing in training, onto the pitch. And I don't know, as a coach, how do you try to help a player to ensure that on match day he's doing the same thing that he is in training? It's at the same levels.
I've been in this game a long time, both as a player and as a manager. I see a lot of players. I see a lot of five-a-side players who have been really good in training. When it comes to the big game, they can't do it. I'm not saying Sancho's in that. That's up to the backroom staff, it's up to the coach to help him. Out here. If they think he's got that ability that Marcus mentioned that he has, they have got to try and get that out of him. Of course he has to help himself. He has to have the mentality. I don't know the lad from Adam. I haven't a clue, but he has to. Marcus made the point that he took himself away to Dortmund to do it. I don't think in terms of changing a league, the Bundesliga is a top quality league, and he has proved himself in that league quite some time ago. Quite some time. I get back to my points. I thought last season was really disappointing for him, but maybe it was in his mind about coming to Manchester United. Maybe it was in his, maybe that was a thought. You have to forget. Everyone has problems in this life, but when you get onto that field, you've got to try and do something. Yeah. You've got to do something, and you've got to go back and do the things that made you the player that cost £80 million, and that's going past players.
The thing is as well, when you're at a big club, they're not. The fans are not going to just accept you're not performing. They expect you to perform, and that's what the player expects as well. He knows he's a great player in there. He's a full international as a teenager when he made his debut. So we all know that there's a great player in there. whatever's going on off the field or around the scenes. We can see that with the performances of Manchester United at times this season. It's not a happy camp. Tonight, second half especially, I think the score flattered them a little bit, but they deserved those goals with the way they opened Brentford up and they finished them.
Yeah, but you made that point early on. You're right about it not being a happy camp, and I think I mean, things that have emanated from the club seem to suggest that. But you mentioned about the young Elanga, where he's actually thrown that to the side. That doesn't matter to him. That should be exactly the same with Sancho. Should be exactly the same. He's not long into the football club. He shouldn't be worried about what might be happening. Go and play. Go and play. That's your job, to play. Don't worry about anything else. And if you want a bit of advice, someone like Ronaldo's there. You couldn't ask for any better. You know, those are the things that you should be aspiring to.
These are the same characters that have to lead by example as well. We've seen Ronaldo come off and start flapping his wings a little bit by being subbed. Yes, the saying is, you know, shouldn't be showing that you're happy coming off. We can understand why he's unhappy. You know, he's expecting to play against Brentford, a team that he's probably never really heard of, but he's up against them and he's coming off without taking a goal.
Quite obviously, Ronaldo gives out advice that he doesn't take himself, you know, so I think that's about the height of it. Listen, he's been a great player. He's been angry at coming off, obviously, because he thinks there's an opportunity to score a goal here tonight. They're leading 2-0 at the time. Why take me off? There's 20 minutes left in the match. I need to score a goal, and that's probably why he was pretty angry.